Reggae Month feature.
You have a next youth people where him not to get the highlight when forget. I swear. Big up
DJ Kane.
Excerpts from the book Cultural Inclusion, the Case of Persons with Disabilities in Jamaica. Author, Senator Dr. Floyd Morris.
Damion DJ Kane Rose. Another person who is blind, who is making his contribution to the music industry, is Damion Rose. Damion enters the arena through sound system operating and is renowned for being an exciting and entertaining music master. Known professionally as DJ Kane, he is a disc jockey and an audio engineer living and operating in Kingston, Jamaica. Though totally blind, he fell in love with music production from a tender age and today works with a lot of veteran artists and producers within the local music industry. Many have frowned upon persons with physical challenges who have developed a passion for music and who operate in this area. But despite the myriad trials, this is a field in which many people who are blind and or otherwise disabled have excelled. DJ Kane explains how his musical odyssey was inspired. I can remember my grandfather sitting down humming to the gospel tunes that were being played in the house. Then after the gospel, they would play the country and westerns, and then in the evening, you would hear your Percy Sledge and Billy King. This was the mid-80s for me. So I started loving the music from back then. And as friends used to say at the Salvation Army School for the Blind, anywhere you see a radio, you will see me. Once there is something playing from a speaker, I would be there. So I had the influence coming from home, then at the School for the Blind. In addition, DJ Kane notes that his major influence came from a sound system called Small Axe that played next door to the School for the Blind compound. Small Axe for me was my university where music was concerned. And I guess Small Axe drove the way in which I now play music, in that they played chronologically. So, if they play in disco this week, they would play disco from the 1970s, and then next week, they will play disco from the 1980s. Same thing for the souls, same thing for the rocksteady. So they gave you all the genres of music. It helped me when I started to play. While at the Salvation Army School for the Blind and Visually Impaired, DJ Kane and his friends would often discuss their love for music and their hope to one day become selectors in the industry. Some youngsters at the school saw this as the best means of making it in life. Despite the fact that his peers were more interested in becoming street DJs, he was at the time focused on radio. He says he was primarily inspired by certain radio presenters. I remember while I was at school, couple guys and myself always wanted to do selecting. I guess this was also driven by Small Axe because we always listened to them and radio was another driving force. I was always wanting to play music and talk. I always admired the folks who did it. So I would always listen to a lot of radio presenters like Winston Williams, Tony Young, and Alan Magnus. Realizing the dream. DJ Kane recalls that between 2009 and 2010, the availability of computers became widespread throughout the Jamaican society. More and more persons started making use of this technology. So he started researching software that he could use to enhance the playing of music from his laptop. He says, I wanted to know how I could get software to play music because I wanted to play music. So starting out first for me, I used to use VLC and Windows Media Player. Believe it or not, those were my first set of mixing tools. After mastering this craft, I started to show other persons. It was kind of hard for them because you don't really have a monitor. You had to just choose the songs and you listen through an output speaker. The only thing you had in your ears was JAWS telling you what the name of the song is. And in order for you to choose, you had to move the headphones slightly and listen to what is going on the outside speaker and try and play the tune. So that's how I mastered that. JAWS is the acronym for Job Access with Speech. It is software that converts text to speech so that a person who is blind can independently navigate the computer. With this great invention, DJ Kane became a true ambassador for the music. He was now in a position where people were beginning to see his talent. He disclosed how it all transpired. My first real playout came at a bar. A friend of mine named Peter Chin had a bar on Mannings Hill Road, and my friend Aurel, DJ Velvet, and we started playing there. Peter said we know music and the bar needs to have some music. You know, music makes your bar lively. So that's how we started. We started playing music. People started seeing us. Yeah. We got a lot of liquor out of that. Both DJ Kane and DJ Velvet were grateful for the exposure. They were not paid, but acquiring popularity was most important to them at that juncture of their careers. They were able to augment the numbers in the bar, and as a consequence, the bar attracted more business. Invariably, the DJs benefited significantly from the added publicity, and more doors of opportunity continued to swing open for them. DJ Kane shared an experience about a client who literally turned up at their door one day. We met a man called Brian who owned a club called Flavors, also on Mannings Hill Road. The first time he came, he was very impressed. I wasn't there. Aurel was playing, and when I came and started playing, he was even more impressed, and he said, "Look here, I want to start an oldies Sunday and I want you guys to play." This opportunity was marked by a misfortune that quickly evolved into an even greater good. DJ Kane gave a detailed breakdown of their playout at the first oldies Sunday. We went and we strung up and we decided that we were gonna play in half-hour or 1 hour sets, depending on how smoothly the music was flowing. So I told Aurel to go first, so he started playing. Now, when it was my time for me to play, I took the headphones, but I could not hear JAWS at all. So I said to Aurel, "You know what? Hold the headphones. From now on, I am going to be the mic person." This was the night that I decided I was going to use the name DJ Kane. That name had been given to me about 2 weeks before by a brother called Beanie. I always tried to talk like people on the radio because my main thing was to get into radio. So this was my opportunity. Some of my friends who came that night didn't believe it was me on the mic. Everyone was asking, "Who is that on the mic?" They just didn't believe. As technology evolved, DJ Kane endeavored to remain relevant. He read voraciously, which positioned him to update the software he used. So when he learned about Mix in 2012, he did not hesitate to find out about this cutting-edge program. He explained, "This is a DJ software and it is easy for blind people to use." I became a full-fledged DJ. I sat up night after night, day after day, practicing my mixing. I felt like, yes, I reach now. Kane did not choose to operate as the average practitioner. He tried to equip himself to ensure he remained a major player in the industry. First, He had started with VLC and Windows Media Player. Then he graduated to Mix and subsequently learned of Gold Wave. This is editing software that helps the user to eliminate all flaws and add creativity to the production. Quickly, he sought to master this in an effort to enrich his output, which helped tremendously to boost the quality of his production. In 2015, he was asked to play on an online radio station. A friend of mine was going to UWI at the time, and he introduced me to one of his friends called Orain, who was doing a course and wanted songs that would complement his topic. So, for example, if he was doing something on female abuse, he would call me and I would just give him some songs off the bat that he could use. So from then, he was very impressed with my knowledge of the music and how quickly I could find songs to fit a given situation. In 2015 now, he linked me up saying, "Listen, I want to do internet radio and you're knowledgeable of the music. I don't know yet if you're a DJ or what, but I want to give you a 2-hour slot on the radio station to do whatever you want to do." I explained to him that I now had the software that I could use to record and do my mixing, but I could not take up the offer at the time as my laptop was giving some trouble. A few weeks later, he called me up again, asking me if I no longer wanted the opportunity, and I told him I was ready now as I got my laptop sorted out. 2 days after he called me, I had my show ready for him. So now I am a full-fledged DJ on Zanjay Radio. You can visit us. My program is called Musical Altitude.
Good night, good night, good night, good night, Musical Altitude fans, near or far, anywhere out there in the world you are, tuned in to Zanj Radio right about now. You know you're inside the Musical Altitude with your boy, DJ Kane.
Damion Rose continues to display that despite having a disability, he can achieve excellence in his pursuits. Through hard work and discipline and a love for music, he has managed to carve out a niche in the music industry. He is undoubtedly a music and entertainment ambassador for persons with disabilities and, by extension, for Jamaica. He might lack sight, but he has vision.
You have been listening to excerpts from the book Cultural Inclusion, the Case of Persons with Disabilities in Jamaica by Senator Dr. Floyd Morris. The book can be purchased on Amazon at the link in the description below. Thank you for listening. This has been a production of the JSB Library.